Just did a phenomenal job. Our recruiting department did an excellent job in recruiting, and a lot of hard work. We feel like we stay way ahead. We feel like that we do an excellent job of that, and especially with this early signing date, I think it played a huge role in some of the young men that we got, that we were way ahead of all the other schools, and I think that was exciting, and the kids loved what they saw about Colorado and loved what our coaches did. So I'm really pleased with how hard these guys work and all the time and effort they give in all aspects. It takes everyone in our in the building, basically, to be able to get it done, and it's an exceptional job by these men and women. So we'll start out with our high school guys first. The first guy we'll start out with Israel. Israel is from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Millwood High School. He's a big, powerful defensive lineman. He'll play defensive end for us, and we're excited about what he can do there. He's a young man that is big and stout and aggressive. He's, a lot of times linemen, when they come in as freshmen, you need to build them up a little bit. This guy's already ready to go, and I expect him to play as a freshman for us, and excited to see what he'll do. He has great parents, super young man, comes to us from Oklahoma, and DJ Elliott did a phenomenal job of recruiting this young man. DJ's an excellent recruiter, and did a great job. As you can see, this young man wreaks a little havoc, has power inside, very aggressive. I think their football team, they only gave up 7 points the entire playoff run, and that was in the championship game. They would have been, I think, the first team in Oklahoma to ever go without even giving up a touchdown in the championship, in the playoffs. The next young man is Daniel Arias. Daniel's from Washington Mill Creek, big, strong, fast, athletic wide receiver. Darren Cheverini did an excellent job, and these guys recruiting him. He is, he's 6'3", almost 6'4". He tells me he's 6'4", but he's right in between there. But he's long-levered, very athletic. Came down here to one of our camps, and we're just excited about Daniel and the aspects he brings to our passing game and stretching it vertical. He's an excellent player. Has ability to go deep, catches the ball well in his hands. Big, long target. Was an excellent player in Washington. As you can try to check his highlights out there, pretty impressive. Jarek Broussard. Jarek is a young man. It's a running back, all-around slot type of receiver, too. He kind of does everything. He's a jack of all trades, returns kicks, very quick, very dynamic, and has speed to break away. He was at Bishop Lynch High School. Is a dynamic athlete. A lot of fun visiting with his mom and dad. And they really enjoyed their visit here, enjoyed their Coach Fawcett is his coach at his high school at Bishop Lynch. Coach Fawcett was a great linebacker for Maryland and, played for San Diego Chargers and was an excellent player. But I remember watching Coach Fawcett play in college at Maryland when my dad was coaching at Vanderbilt, and Coach Bobby Ross was coaching over there at Maryland, some unbelievable games. He's a guy that used to wear a feather earring. We were talking about that in his office for a long time. But this young man, Jarek, can make all kind of plays. He's a dual threat offensive player. Can be in the backfield, can catch the ball in the backfield, can line up as a slot receiver, can return kicks, punts, exceptional speed and quickness. The next young man would be Frank Phillip. Frank's a big offensive tackle. We're really excited about Frank, 6'7", 275, very gifted, extremely intelligent. A couple of unique things. Both his parents are engineers. His mom worked on the space shuttle. Clear Lake is right there where the Houston, where all the spacecraft and everything. She worked on the space shuttle program. Really a lot of fun visiting their house and talking to them. Frank's another young man that, he's 275 right now. He'll be 280 to 285 when he shows up here. He's another guy, I think, on the line that is exceptional. I think he'll have a chance to play this year. I really do. And so, this year we're able to get some guys that were already developed, physically ready, that can help us play this fall on the lines, which is exciting for us. Tafa Final from Sacramento. This young man was at a camp we had in Sacramento, California, and just dominated it. He's very athletic. He's very quick. extremely powerful. I'm really excited about Top. He has exceptional quickness and an ability to make plays. He can play D-end, nose tackle. He'll really be good in our nickel pass rush as a 3 technique, being able to pass rush the passer. Tava is an exceptional young man that we're excited about having on the defensive line with a lot of quickness and power. Joshka Gustav, he's from Germany, but he goes to Aquinas High School in California. Athletic, fast young man. Another DJ Elliott recruited this young man too, and he is really explosive and will fit into our 3-4 as an outside backer with long range and athletic ability and pass rush ability. He's been over here in the United States for 4 or 5 years. His parents are still over in Germany. It's really an interesting story. Has done really well academically, and really excited about what he'll bring to the table for us in the pass rush realm and the outside linebacker spot. Long, athletic young man. Josh Gines is an offensive center and guard. He can play both. He's from DeSoto High, where we've, of course, got KD and Visca. He's an excellent player, was the starting center for them on their state championship run last year, played center and guard this year. Extremely intelligent, has great explosion, good base, good size, really can roll people off the ball. It's always excellent to have a guy that can play center and guard. The center position is so important. You need a couple guys to be able to do that, and he's a young man that can play both for us. And it's great to have another guy from DeSoto, which is a powerhouse in football. Coach Peterman does an unbelievable job there with them. Clyde Moore. Clyde's a big, powerful linebacker from Newport Beach, from Corona Del Mar. That's a really tough area to go recruit in down there on the beach at Newport Beach. Coach Ross Ells, he was down there all the time for some reason, but he did a great job with this young man. The unique thing is he has USC ties, and we were really excited to get him. His brother plays at USC. His dad was a great player at USC, and we were really fortunate to get him. He was a young man that played as a junior and then had a quad injury as a senior and wasn't able to play, but he has worked so hard, and he's very powerful, very athletic. I'm excited about his nose for the football and his ability to hit and roam the field. He's an excellent linebacker. Ray Robinson from Highlands Ranch in Colorado. Ray's a young man that I offered as a sophomore. He's a true buff through and through, and he will be here in January, graduating early, so he'll be here for spring practice, winter workouts, and Ray is an excellent player at Highlands Ranch. Very unfortunate, he tore his ACL up right at the beginning of the season, but has got it repaired. Everything's good. It really hurt in summer, 7-on-7, and he'll be ready to roll and go. And he's big, athletic. He can play safety. He can play our buff position, and will be excellent on special teams also for us. Very fast and athletic, long player. Deon Smith, running back from Houston, Second Baptist. Excellent job. Darren Hagan did a phenomenal job recruiting this young man, and everything that we were doing there. He's really fast and powerful, and it was one of those ones he was getting offered last night at 11:30 by other teams in our league. It was pretty crazy. He's a really great young man, great player, long. We really look forward for him being an excellent running back for us. This is the same school that Connor Wood went to, and Second Baptist in Houston, so that was a good thing for us in the school. Really helped us out a lot because Connor Wood had a great experience here as a great young man, and this young man we're excited about Deon Smith. Demetri Stanley, Another young man from Colorado. I think he's ranked the #1 player in the state of Colorado as of yesterday. He is a phenomenal player, great athlete. He can play both sides of the football. He's an excellent receiver, but he can also be an excellent corner. He's also a good return specialist. Really excited about what Demetri brings to us. It was a big battle to get Demetri, and our Chev and those guys did a phenomenal job recruiting Demetri. You know, his dad played here, so he's a legacy. So we're excited about what Demetri brings. And, of course, Coach Logan coached him there at Cherry Creek and does a phenomenal job. And, you know, if anybody can coach receivers, I think it would be Coach Logan, right? And he did a great job with him. He's got great instincts and great ability. And his dad was also an excellent receiver and played in the NFL for a while. So we're really excited about having Demetri on our football team. Blake Stenstrom, another young man from Colorado, from Valor High School. Another great kid with great bloodlines. His dad was Steve Stenstrom that played at Stanford and then played in the NFL for a long time. Blake has all the tools you're looking for a quarterback. You know, he's over 6'3". He can make all the throws. Extremely bright young man. He doesn't take after Steve. He takes after his mom in that area, I think. And so he can make all the plays. Comes from a great program at Valor that had an excellent passing game. And we're really excited about it. Blake was a young man that committed to us early. And, you know, like all smart quarterbacks, just like Tyler Lytle did last year, they started recruiting the class. And it was interesting. He really called the offensive lineman a lot. And I think that's pretty smart for him to do. So he is an excellent young man. Can do all the things. He can run it. He can throw it. Very, very, very accurate passer. We're excited about what he's going to bring to the table, what Blake's going to do for us. Dylan Thomas. Dylan's a receiver out of Cathedral High School. Very fast, very long, athletic young man. Has ability to stretch the field. We're able to, we're really able to get some excellent receivers again that understand our passing game and how we use the football, how we throw the football. He also had played some DB. He'll hit you at safety. He's a multi-dimensional player, but at receiver, he's really got length and speed to stretch the field and make plays for us. They do a great job at Cathedral High School. Coach does there. You see it right there. Cathedral High School, the interesting about when you go recruit Cathedral High School, you have to basically drive in Dodger Stadium. You drive up and you turn, it's right there. I mean, literally you drive in Dodger Stadium. And so it's a special place. I think it might be one of the old, I think it was in 1908 it opened, or excellent school there in L.A. L.J. Wallace. DB, long, athletic DB, can play corner and safety. Really like what LJ does. He's very physical, very long, kind of DBs that we have around here. And I think he'll be another one of the long line of excellent DBs that play at Colorado. And he can cover. He also played him at receiver and at tailback, and he returned punts. As you can see right here, he's going to go to the house. He returned kickoffs. He took a couple of them to the house. He's just big, fast, athletic, tough, the kind of guy I look forward to playing the secondary, and I think he's going to be an excellent one. All right. Now we'll go to our junior college kids. The first one's going to be Rick Abrams. Rick's ranked in some areas, he's ranked the #1 corner in America coming out of junior college. He's from Bogalusa, Louisiana. A lot of fun going down there and visiting with his mom and dad, stepdad, and everybody. It was just a blast. Very athletic, long, can make all the plays. He's really excited about coming here to Colorado. He was a young man that out of high school, he went to a really small high school, did everything, and not many people knew about him. He was skinny. He was a great basketball player. In fact, his nickname was Slim. And so then he went to junior college at Independence, and we found him there, and he has just excelled. And that was another one that multiple offers and things, even as of last night, people are calling him, telling him don't sign at other schools in our league and other places. So we're honored to have him playing on our team, and I look forward to coaching him. And he'll be here in spring ball that's something I'll talk about at the end, how many guys we have being here for spring, which makes your team better for the fall. Mustafa Johnson. Mustafa is a defensive lineman from Modesto, but he's really from Colorado. He left here 2 weeks before his ninth grade year started and moved to Modesto. He played Little League football with Van Diest and Sparacco and a bunch of those kids that I think won the state of Denver state of Colorado, and went to play in Florida for the championship and got beat by Georgia. But he knows all those guys. He's a young man that coming out of high school weighed 240 pounds. He now weighs 296, 2.5. He's athletic. He can play every spot on the defensive line. We look to move him around at different spots on our defensive line, and look for him to play this year. He's a young man that comes out of junior college. It's what we call 4 for 3. He has 4 years to play 3, so he has a redshirt year available, and he'll be here in spring practice. So he'll make a big difference, and look for him to play this year also. Darion Jones, big athletic tight end. He's from L.A. Harbor. He is all of 6'6". That's not a stretch. I might even be taller. He's actually bigger. We weighed him in at 261. He's fast. He's athletic. He's kind of a little bit of a freak is what I would say. And he can make plays, and you'll see us utilize him in a lot of different ways. He can also block. He can run. He'll be a big target. He was a young man that Darren Hagan did an excellent job on, and finding him, working with him, and a guy that our early evaluations helped us. And we're so glad he came here. We held on for dear life. You name them, they offered him in the last 2 weeks. And it was an excellent job by our staff and by this young man honoring his commitment. He just loved it when he came out here to Colorado. So did his mom. And so we're so excited about this guy. He will be a weapon for us in many, many ways. And we're excited about Darion. Erin Maddux, safety from Pima Junior College. He's another young man. He'll be a 4 for 3. We're excited about him. He's very athletic. He's ranked the #1 junior college safety in America. We're excited about his athletic ability. His dad played at Arizona, and Coach Bernardi knew his dad when he was coaching at Arizona. So we had some good inroads there and worked really hard. This young man is excited. He's by the way of North Augusta in South Carolina is where he went to high school. And we look for him to be able to cover and get down in the box. He reminds me, he's able to return punts. He's extremely quick. He reminds me a little bit of Evan Worthington, and not quite as tall, but a lot like Evan Worthington, who I think is extremely athletic, and you see his speed all over the field this year. So we're excited about Erin Maddux playing safety for us. He's another one that can enroll in the spring. So in this spring, out of this class, 9 of these guys are going to be here in January. That's a big deal in making your football team better. They can go all winter workouts. They can go all spring. They're here all summer, and they're ready to help you. So I'm excited about those guys. And we have, of course, some other young men that will be here in June that will be able to help us this year too. I see this class as the most ready class that we've signed, mature body-wise, that more of them can help us early than we have had in the past. And I think that's a credit to our recruiting. That's a credit to our program improving and getting guys that are a little bit more already developed, which should make a quicker impact for us. Yes, where was he on here? Yes, I missed him. Shoot, sorry. Thank you very much. Davion Taylor, phenomenal athlete, amazing story. Ross Ells did an incredible job finding and getting this young man. Davion's a young man that really didn't play much high school football, ran track, played basketball, and then when his high school career is over, he realized, I want to play football, so he actually had to walk on to a junior college. And then he is a fast human. He'll play our buff position, which Ryan Moeller played. He'll be here in the spring also. He will also run track. Last year at 225 pounds, he ran a 10 600 meters. legitimately timed in junior college, and a 21.5 200 meters. So I know Coach Wetmore and Coach Brockman are excited, Burke, about this guy also running track, so he'll do both this spring. He brings a pass rush ability to us, more speed, some more speed on the football field, and we'll hopefully utilize. He reminds me of a little bit bigger, faster Cheeto, and so hopefully that's what he pans out to be. We're really excited. He was ranked the #1 buff or outside linebacker in the United States of America at a junior college. So we're excited about these guys and what they bring to the table for us. So.
All right, well, with that, we'll take questions for Coach. Ryan and I both have microphones, so just raise your hand and we'll bring them around to you for your questions.
The other three guys I'll mention, Casey Roddick and Jalen Sammy, are coming in as gray shirts. We gray shirted last year. They're the other two that'll be in. And then Tony Brown, who transferred in, those are all really newcomers. Those are the 9 guys I'm talking about at be out at spring practice.
You mentioned some of the battles that went down to the wire. Was this early signing period different than what you anticipated? Was a little bit more hectic than the old traditional signing day?
It's a little more hectic because I've got to fly to all the houses in 3 weeks, and having weekends every there, and the coaches too. I personally like it. I'm still a proponent. People are going to cry and laugh or whatever they want to do. I'm still a proponent of signing, just like basketball does. I'm a proponent of signing in July, and then having another signing date in February. Because would you look at how our calendars this year, they're going to have you can have official visits in April, May, and June. If kids come on official visits, they commit, they want to come. Why not sign in July? They don't have to worry about it during the season. It helps the high school coaches too. Well, those kids having to travel every weekend for official visits, it helps us. And then have another signing date in February. So I liked it personally. I really did. Yeah, it makes it more hectic, but I'm glad that it's done this way. I am.
Mike, does the early signing period, 6 weeks, 2 months ahead, place an even bigger premium on early evaluation, good evaluation, and early identification?
Yeah, on all of it. You have to do early evaluation, get to know the kids, and that type of thing, but also on academics also. Because a lot of these kids, you're signing them before you get this fall semester done. So you come in going, he's an excellent student, here's what he's going to do, and go from there. So that's a big deal for us, especially here at Colorado, which is such a hard academic school.
Coach, with the 3 in-state guys you got, are you setting a precedent of getting those top-rated high school kids from in the state?
Yeah, we are trying to all that we can. We're always looking for the Pac-12 type players that we feel like fit into our program and fit what we want. And there's quite a few good players in this state each year, and we were excited with the 3 that we got. And and Jalen Sammy's one that we signed last year that we gray shirted is coming in. So I'm excited about those guys, and I like what the high school coaches are doing in the state of Colorado. I think the football is getting better and better. And I keep saying that it's always population driven. If you look anywhere, it's population driven for recruiting, and our state's growing fast. It seems like they're adding a high school every day somewhere, and that's good for college football. That's good for us.
Coach, you mentioned you like the early,
yes.
signing period. Did you get any sense about how problematic it would have been or how challenging it might have been had you been preparing for a bowl game during the
Yeah, we already had it set up. We were prepared for a bowl game. You're going to either play one somewhere around New Year's or Christmas, right? Or you're going to play one early. So we had a whole process done. So, our biggest recruiting weekend of January was the 12th. After we didn't have one set up, a big one set up for we ended up having one, but we didn't have a big one set up for the championship game because you couldn't do it. And we didn't have a big one set up for the 16th, 17th, 18th because there's some Pac-12 bowls at that time. We had a big one set up for that, I think the 11th, 12th of December. So we had it straight. And then we also brought a lot of kids in during the season, which we haven't done in the past. And that's really we made the big difference. Brought a lot in during the season. Our one that was on the January one in the middle there was commitments that we already had. And we felt like they were really solid, and we wanted to bring a group of those guys together so they could keep bonding and their families and meet everybody, and that really worked out well because we brought 10 in at that time, and all 10 of those guys stuck with it, so they really bonded, and that was our plan all along.
like with 5 JUCO kids, and I know you maybe aren't done, but you had 5 last year, I believe.
Right.
Can you talk about that sort of change in philosophy we've seen around here? Just there hasn't been this many JUCOs in previous years. The last
Right.
several years, you were getting 4 or 5.
Right. Well, there's a couple reasons on that. We have a lot of connections coming from San Jose in the California junior college ranks. And then being so close to Kansas helps, and then recruiting Texas hard and that type of thing. And then we have some roots in Mississippi. So I think that but the main thing that's changed that's allowed us to do this here, because this is such a great academic school, is the NCAA standards for junior college athletes to get into college changed about 4 years or 5 years ago. And so now they have to have 48 transferable. You can only have 2 PE, which we can't take the PE because we don't accept PE here. So your curriculum of the young men you're looking at, there's a higher level of guys at academic that can be able to be successful here and do well. You know, Kello and J.C. Carroll, just 2 that played pro football out of that group, and I think we'll have some more. And so we've been able to do that. And then the other thing is they like it when they come here. They like what we're doing. They understand how we're doing it. And I like to do that because you don't ever want to have attrition. But face it, you're going to have attrition just naturally when a kid starts as a freshman, and by the time he ends up as a 5th year or 4th year senior, you're going to lose a few guys in that class. So if you can sign some junior college kids that are juniors, of course, sometimes I like the 3 for 3, like a Leo Jackson and different guys that we've had, a Kello. So those, you're able to have a bigger senior classes every year, and we've had good-sized senior classes. But mainly I always look at the senior classes, junior, seniors combined for your team, and I think that helps you.
Well, just to follow up on that, can you tell me what it does for competition?
Oh, it does a great deal for competition, and it keeps everybody motivated, keeps everybody pushing. And when you get out there at spring practice and you got 9 more bodies than you would have had, that's a big difference. Now, a couple of them are high school, but we plan that way. And that gives you more competition. You're able to practice better. You have to practice harder. So hopefully it'll make big dividends this fall. That's what we're hoping.
Mike, an interesting note with your quarterback in this class,
Yeah.
Blake, just the fact that here's a highly recruited guy who wasn't really a full-time starter throughout
Right.
his career. How do you evaluate a guy like that? And is that sort of just a reflection on how the recruiting scene has changed
Right.
with 7-on-7 and other ways to evaluate?
Right. He rotated in the last couple of years with the McCaffertys. It's been 2 McCaffertys and him, and he's rotated. And then, of course, Luke went on, and not Luke, his older brother. And so he's rotated with all those guys. And so it's been a good thing. He's a really good player. We saw him at camp as a freshman, and just saw his ability and all that type of thing.
Coach, he mentioned today that what he liked about the early signing period was being able to get workouts from strength coaches.
Yes.
And being able to get on huddle. How vital has that been to you, or how vital do you think that is with this early signing period?
For them getting in here for
them
with
getting
us.
strength workouts.
Oh,
and
yeah.
being able to
It's extremely vital for them to get in here and get working out with our team and get with Drew Wilson and molding our team, and then our spring practice. Then we're able to, with NCAA rules now, we're able to meet with them more, 2 hours a week. So you're able to do that. And then in the summer. So when they start in the summer, they're really good. So they're not just running in August and being overwhelmed by everything. They know the defense, they know the offense, they understand where they are on the special teams, they understand what they've got to do, they understand the competition. They've got indoctrinated to school, so that doesn't overwhelm them. It's a big advantage.
You added 3 defensive linemen.
Yes.
And 4, I guess, with Jalen Stanley coming in. You talk about that position and how much better, or how, do you feel better about that position than you did even a few weeks ago?
Right. We were able to find some guys that we thought could really help us, and we definitely feel like that's an area that we need to keep improving in. And we had some guys that played last year. They were young in their time, and we feel like that adding these guys to it, that we'll be able to rotate guys in and be more stout on the defensive line and be able to, affect the run game and affect the passing game better. So I'm excited about these guys, and definitely having a lot of them here in the spring and a couple of the freshmen that we feel like are physically fit to go and play. Hopefully we'll be better up front.
Mike, Mike, just to follow up on Blake, you mentioned him battling with McCaffrey's for that starting job. How do you think he handled that, being a guy who's highly recruited but isn't a starter? I think a lot of those guys might try to transfer to get more of an opportunity. What made you think that
he did start quite a bit. There's no doubt about it. I think that it just shows his character. To be able to handle that situation, the way he worked at it, the way he led that team, and he has excellent character, excellent team attitude. Sometimes quarterbacks, I kind of call them the golden child a little bit. They kind of think they're a little bit special. They got to have confidence, but they need to be. And to me, he has great confidence, but he's a very humble, very talented young man that I'm excited about having here, and that will be a great team leader, and I believe an excellent player as time goes on.
I know it's hard to compare recruiting class to class, but is this maybe as developed and as athletic overall class as you've had here at Colorado?
Yes, it's the most developed class that we've signed coming in. The group we had, the 9 guys we had go to the NFL a year ago, those guys weren't as developed, but we worked to develop them. So hopefully some of these young men will play a little bit quicker. And we had to play some of those guys quicker just out of necessity. But I think now with these guys, they'll be able to play a little quicker and be better at a younger age than those guys were at a younger age. Hopefully they'll be just as good at the end, but they'll definitely be stronger, more athletic, better to be able to perform at a Pac-12 level. We hope quicker. That's what we're hoping, and that's what we believe.
Coach, if you had to narrow it down to one thing that you learned with this early signing period, what would you say that was, and how would you apply that in the future?
I think the one thing I learned in this early signing period is you have to do a great job of evaluating very early, and a great job of evaluating. A lot of people watch highlight tapes, okay? Well, you might watch a highlight tape and everybody oohs and ahs. The key is going and watching 4 or 5 game tape, and then actually being able to somehow verify height, weight, that type of thing. And then, of course, after that, you always are looking into the academics to see what they can do there and be able to get all of their stuff in quickly. That's another key thing you have to do, especially here. Our academics is so strenuous, and it's awesome, but we get everything in quick and do an excellent job of that. And keep a whole booklet on it, understand what's going on, and understand what the kids are going to take in the spring, when kids are going to graduate from junior college, all of those types of things. It takes a team of people to do it.
Mike, with the early signing period, did you find it the last minute fending other schools off? Was it more intense?
Yeah, it was a lot more intense this year, the last 3 days, and the last weekend, a lot more intense. I'm calling kids all night last night, and they say, so-and-so just called and offered me, and they don't want me to sign, told me to wait. I mean, kid after kid after kid. It wasn't, it was major universities in our conference and out of our conference and some big independent schools. And so it was an interesting, it was a little bit more than usual. But also, I think that also says a lot for the kids that we have. A lot of that might have been occurred too because there was quite a few coaching changes in our league, and that might have spurred it on a little bit more also.
What do you do with February now? How do you approach February now?
We'll sit down tomorrow, look at all our different things, and then when our kids finish school and they come back in the spring, there's always situations where kids might want to transfer if they feel like they're not getting as much playing time at the end of spring and that type of thing. So we'll just look at the different situations as we go through. But I like the team that we have, and we just got to push them and get them better and get confidence and keep believing them and keep loving them and keep pushing them.
At least on paper, this is back-to-back recruiting classes that are much better than what you guys have done previous years. Can you talk about that, what it just means in this program to stack a couple of classes like this, and kind of, you mentioned your staff, we kind of mentioned the job they've done.
Well, they've worked relentlessly, and our whole recruiting staff has done a phenomenal job. I'd sit here and name everybody. I mean, it just takes everybody involved, and they've done an excellent job for us, and it does mean a lot. Our guys are working hard. We do it. My dad used to always say, recruiting's like shaving. If you don't do it every day, it shows, You have to just keep working at it, keep working at it, keep working at it. And that's what our guys have been doing, and I'm very, very pleased with our staff. They they blow me away with their work ethic and their commitment. And then, all of our people and our academic staff here have done a great job helping us, find the young men that can be successful here at Colorado, and that's exciting for what we're doing. But, yeah, we've put 2 good classes together. They've got to keep working. They've got to keep pushing. I was pleased with last year's class. I was pleased with what they've done. I'm pleased with how some of those kids that we redshirt are developing, and hopefully that will pay dividends this spring and this fall, and adding some of these guys to it. And, we're able to develop other guys. So, I think it definitely was good to put this back-to-back together, and the hard work that's going on. I think it also, the senior class that just graduated, the 2 years before we got here, we were talking about it, Phillip, Lindsay, and I, and some of the guys, and we were talking about it. CUU only had won 4 games the 2 years before they got here. Now they've won 15 in the last 2 years. Yeah, we would have liked to have been better year, but that's a pretty big difference, and people are seeing that out there. And the other thing that's pretty cool, when I'm out with some of the guys to eat or do something or whatever, people are recognizing them and coming up to them. And, it's kind of funny when we go out on recruiting things, all the people that come up to you and are excited. Coach, everything's going great. We're so pumped up. Little kids coming up, hugging you, parents bringing people up. That didn't happen in the past. Now it happens when we go out to eat and with these recruits, and they see all that. They see the excitement that the people are excited about Colorado football in so many ways. It's really exciting.
When you were out there on the road recruiting, I'm sure you had a lot of dinners.
Yep.
What kind of experiences do you have to share from just being on the road?
Wow. Well, yeah, we had a lot of dinners. It's always a lot of food, a lot of fun time. One day in Houston, I had to go to 3 houses in one night and during the school day. I just had, if everybody on the Beltway ate, just stayed up and down that, which was good. I'm glad I didn't have to get off and go too far in Houston. It gets a little bit traffic jams, but had spaghetti at one house, had gumbo at another house, so it was a lot of fun. The desserts are always awesome, so probably I'm going to have to go watch my weight now again, so I'm going to have to go start running harder, but it was a lot of fun.
Mike, with the NCAA allowing for a 10th full-time assistant coach, I know you guys are in the process of searching for a quarterbacks coach. What are you kind of looking for in an ideal candidate, and why was that maybe the area of focus for adding another coach?
What was the idea for adding another coach in the NCAA?
Choosing a quarterbacks coach and just the candidate you're looking for.
Right. Yeah, we've had a tremendous amount of interest in our quarterback coach position. I've been running so hard. I've been talked to quite a few people, but now that this is over, I'll be able to settle in on it and focus exactly what we want to do. The 10th coach had a lot of thoughts on that, and just kind of seeing how everything unfolds. There's a lot of different guys kind of out of jobs or looking out there, so I didn't go ahead and just push with it. And there's some trying to figure out what's best for our program and for our team and the continuity of our staff. So just kind of looking at that. So it's a wide range, but I'll be able to really focus in on that now.
Coach, over the past month or so, as you've finalized this class, obviously didn't have the season that the team was hoping to this past fall. What challenges, if any, did that kind of present in, maybe reassuring all these young men that this is still a program that's going to compete for championships and all that sort of thing?
I think I really didn't have to say that much. They saw our competitiveness on the field. They were excited. They saw where we're going. The thing that sells them was when you bring them and they meet with the kids, and they go out with the kids, and the coaches aren't around. They'll let them know if they believe we're good enough or not. And I think these last 2 classes show you that the culture of our kids and the belief in our kids is that they believe that we're going to be really successful, and they like it here at Colorado, and they believe in what we're doing. That's the telltale sign. And I think that's why we've had such good recruiting classes. Yeah, the coaches did an unbelievable job, but if you bring them here and there's negativity with your players, that they see them all. They have a host, but they go out and see them on campus. They see them in the weight room. They get to talk to them. And social media the way it is, kids read different things that kids are saying and all that. So I think that that has been the telltale sign of our culture, that great players want to come here and be successful.
Coach, aside from just impact on the field, what makes signing day so special for you?
Well, I always said it's like Christmas. I got Christmas within 5 days. It's pretty cool. It's the fun thing about it is you recruit young men, and when you see them sign and start on their dream, it's always excellent. And I kind of when I see guys, they kind of remind me of other guys, and I'll even text some of our old players, hey, this dude reminds me of you. Make sure you watch him. And so I think that is special. To see the joy of their parents. And we have kids from all different kinds of home lives. And it's really cool to see them make it and do different things. So I think it's just the thrill of seeing in their eyes and the joy in their parents that they've made a goal they're trying to reach. And now we all know, I always tell them, now you're going to go to the next step. And, the grind is your dream. Everybody thinks, no, the grind allows you to reach your dream. And so they've got this far. Now they've got to go another step. And that's our goal, is to help them realize that and understand that and keep pushing. And that's a lot of fun, too.
Okay, unless there's anything more on recruiting, Coach, can we take the opportunity, since we didn't have a season-ending presser, to quickly summarize the season, talk about some highs and lows, and moving ahead towards spring?
In our season, we had, we didn't come through in the close games like we did the year before. Is basically what it sums up to. We got to improve in different areas, and we will. And I thought that our kids kept battling and kept fighting, and we just were off here or there. And, you make a couple plays in a couple games, might change a little bit of the mojo, so to speak, in some games later on. But that's what I saw, and we know what we have to improve on, and we know what we recruited for, and we've talked about the different things that we need to improve on, and we'll do a lot more of that when we get back in the next couple of days, and then right when we get back right after Christmas as a staff, and keep divulging into different things that we need to make a little bit better, no doubt about it. So.
When you sort of assess Steven Montez's performance throughout the year, it seemed like there was just kind of ebbs and flows. At times he's fantastic, other times it seemed like his decision-making needed some improvement. Just when you look at his year, expected for a guy who's a redshirt sophomore? I mean, just what do you kind of think about when you think about his year?
I thought that I think you're exactly right. Steven had some excellent moments, some wow moments. He had some other moments that were tough, and that's what I kept saying at the beginning of the year. Can he handle the grind of everything? And I thought when it was all said and done that he did. I thought he improved as the year went along. He had a couple. You're always going to have some peaks and valleys there, but I thought overall, his practice habits were not bad, but I thought he started watching and improving, and I saw him say, hey, let's do this play over, or make a receiver run a route over. We got to do this. We got to get the timing down. All of that to me is maturity. And then I saw his study habits improve, and being more prepared for the games, which it was good before, but it has to go to an unbelievable level. And he started understanding that. So I'm excited to see what he'll do from there. And I thought Sam Neuer made strides. I thought Tyler Lytle, Casey Marksberry, I thought all those guys did. But as far as Steven on the field, I thought he did make strides. I thought he started understanding, not every play has to be a heroic play. And that was a big place. You don't want to take away his playmaking ability, and we didn't. But there's a way of, corralling it a little bit. And as our offense gets better and our defense gets better, I think you'll see the same thing that would happen with Cepho. As the team got a little bit better around him, he got better. And I think you'll hopefully see that next year. Our team should be a little bit better, so he'll be a little bit better. We were a few plays where he made the plays, we just didn't come up with them. That would have been the difference in a 7-5 season for sure, easily, and might have made it even better than that. But you just look at a couple plays, and we're 7-5. So I have to go from there. So, are they having a final in here or something? Brian, are you ready for another final? Okay, all right. Okay, all right.
With Steven, we saw Cepho last year. He was kind of that no-nonsense leader that really, put his foot down with a lot of the freshmen and set a tone on things. Does Steven need to take that level, and do you think it makes a difference when your quarterback is that guy as opposed to a running back or tight end or somebody else?
I thought Steven kept and his leadership improved as the year went on. It wasn't bad, but again, it has to be exemplary in a way, and you kind of start learning that as the quarterback. And he does understand that everybody's watching him, from the freshman to the senior offensive lineman. They're all watching you as a quarterback. The outside linebacker on defense is watching you, which is that doesn't happen at every other position. Of how you're handling, how you're doing, and I definitely think that he started understanding that even more and more as the year went on.
All right. Well, if there are
finally, after 5 years, is your depth? Are you finding where you feel comfortable with your depth on this team? I mean, I know when you came here and started to rebuild the program.
Right.
Are you to the point now that you look at it and say, okay, our depth is at a point that we can beat them?
Well, as a coach, you always want more depth. Because you're always looking at it as, okay, if that guy gets hurt and that guy gets hurt, then you move here. Okay, who's the next guy? Because you that could happen. But no, I think our team we've got to keep improving, keep going, and then when we start winter workouts, take one day at a time, spring practice, fall practice, and then take the old saying of one game at a time, and keep going from there. So we just got to keep proving. I do think our program is, better, a lot better than it was when we first got here, no doubt about that. Now we got to, just keep doing it. And our kids are hungry coming back. The kids coming in are hungry for us to add to us and be successful. And so that's what they see. And, they love playing here at Colorado. And hopefully we're able to do better than we did last year.
One from the SID, because we figured this out. Over the last month of the year, Alex Kinney had the best gross and net punting average in the nation. So can you talk about his comeback?
Yeah, he started out really well in the fall camp and started out early, and then he kind of got we were talking, matter of fact, Alex and I were talking about that. What's today? Wednesday? Monday. Alex and I were talking about that, and we're talking about some things we can do to help him scheme-wise for us too. So we're going to look into that a little bit. But the protection was good for him, and he felt confident. And that's a big part for a punter. Our snaps were better late in the year too. So those are things but he is very talented, and that's what I expect out of him. I expect him to be one of the best punters in the country. I really do. I think he is that talented.
Mike, when you assess this team's run defense last year, what do you think was sort of the biggest issue you guys had at times in that area? And then what makes you optimistic moving forward that could be a source of strength for this team?
Right. We had some excellent games against the run, and then we had some extremely porous games against the run. Of course, the one that sticks out was the Khalil Tate, who can tackle Khalil Tate game. And that was a little bit of a surprise for us of understanding what he was going to do. And we missed him some. We didn't fold across right a few times, and he was so fast that he exploited that. So that hurt us. And then late in the game against Arizona State, we just had a couple misfits. And I know you always say, well, Coach said, you make one misfit when you're trying to get up there and stop the run, and they pop it. That's 100 yards of rushing right there. So, we've worked on that and looked at it and talked about it. And then, a lot of those guys were new out there in certain spots, and if you don't play inside gap on the tackle and you end up sticking your head outside and the guy pops and runs through your arm, it's a big play. So a lot of that will go through with experience. And I thought Chris Malumba made big strides as the year long. I really do, and I look for him to play really well for us this year. So, and we didn't tackle quite as well as we did the year before, but a lot of those kids that are playing in the NFL didn't tackle as well their first time either, and they just weren't quite there. The little attention to details that hopefully we can coach better and they can understand better will help us. And that's where I see us. We got to improve in those areas, and I definitely believe we will.
All right, Coach. Thank you for your time, and
thank you.
Thank everyone for joining us today.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas.